Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession to begin.
Mr. Chris Demwell, a current master's student, will lead us in the singing of O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. I declare the June 2007 Convocation assembled for the granting of degrees. Mr. President, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty, honored guests, graduates, and friends, my name is Brant Louie, and I am the Chancellor of this university. This is our 42nd annual Convocation, and we are delighted and honored to have in attendance today a number of distinguished guests on the platform and in the audience. A special welcome is given to the Honourable Bill Siskay, MP for Burnaby Douglas. I am also pleased to welcome our audience from around the world joining us via the internet. Welcome to you all. Honored guests, graduates, and family, friends, faculty, and staff. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you to Simon Fraser University's Spring 2007 Convocation Ceremony. The Convocation Ceremony is a proud tradition that dates back to the 12th century. It is a rite of passage that is based on a long-established ancient custom. It connects us to our past and to the generations that will follow. The first North American commencement ceremony was held at Harvard University in the year 1642, and this proud and rich tradition has endured for more than 3.5 centuries. Today celebrates your rite of passage, and in doing so connects you to those first graduates more than 365 years ago. Today is an important milestone in your life. Surrounded by the family and friends who have supported you, you are thinking about your future, what you will do, who you will become, and how you will contribute. As you are all aware, the world into which you are stepping has changed quite a bit since the 17th century when that first convocation ceremony was held. But as you contemplate the seemingly unlimited possibilities and opportunities that lie ahead, you are probably as excited and as nervous as those first graduates so long ago. In less than 3 years, we will usher in the year 2010. I remember when I graduated in 1966, the year 2010 was so far away that even imagining it was considered to be science fiction. Technology and science have exploded into previously unimagined new frontiers, and you are on the threshold of a future that is almost impossible to imagine. Trend spotters, economists, and experts predict that the next 5 years will see even more revolutionary and lifestyle-changing innovations. But frankly, the notion that technology is pushing the limits of our society is not new. Every new age of civilization adopted technologies that impacted the social structure and lifestyles of the times in significant and long-lasting ways. Even though our history shows how our societies adapt themselves around new technology, I believe it is knowledge, not technology, that has always been the true power at the heart of our progress. The value of an education should not only be measured in dollars and cents. Knowledge is the true currency of this brave new world you will enter, these uncharted waters you will navigate. It is information and the ability to create knowledge that will be the key to the future. Alvin Toffler once said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." A commitment to learning, unlearning, and relearning can be found at the core of Simon Fraser University and has helped us earn our place at the forefront of innovation and discovery. As graduates of Simon Fraser, I truly believe you are well prepared to be leaders and pioneers. You are part of an academic institution that has demonstrated its commitment to staying on the cusp of innovation and science, an institution that has and will continue to prepare our students to be leaders for the next generation. You are the generation that will invent the technology that defines our future, technology that will be able to accommodate our endless creativity and innovation. And your children will be born into a world where truly anything is possible. You will help us build on our reputation for innovation, pioneering, and excellence. Today, it seems that the only constant is change, which means one of the things we can safely predict about the future is that it will be different. It is important that we all give some thought to the footprint we leave for the generation to follow. As you contemplate your future, I remind you of something said by Vince Lombardi, one of the most successful football coaches in the history of the game. He said, "The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their field of endeavor." You have experienced the commitment to excellence that is part of every aspect of this university, and I hope you will use it as a benchmark in your own quest for personal excellence. Seek it out in the people, organization, and activities. Embrace it with a commitment to innovation, collaboration, and openness to change. It was William Shakespeare who wrote, "We know what we are, but not what we may be." Today, I urge you to live up to this unique individual potential that lies within you, and I am confident you will. The education and experience you had at Simon Fraser University will always be an important part of both who you are and who you are destined to become. I wish you all the best as you continue in your pioneering spirit of this proud institution. In closing, I will leave you with the words of Albert Einstein, who said, "Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is to not stop questioning." We look forward to adding your achievements and successes to our already robust reputation. Remember, you are the future, so make the most of it. Congratulations and thank you. I now call on the President of Simon Fraser University, Dr. Michael Stevenson.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to add my warm welcome to this great event at SFU in the splendid setting of Arthur Erickson's great Convocation Mall. We are gathered together, of course, to celebrate the individual achievements of all those graduating today from the Faculty of Education and the Faculty of Applied Science. And their individual achievements are worthy of much celebration. Each of you, ladies and gentlemen of the graduating class, has achieved the very high standard established by SFU for our degrees. And each of you, no doubt, has encountered some measure of challenge along the way, which might well have defeated people of lesser intelligence and character. but your success is real today, and we celebrate it with you. The value of your degrees owes certainly much to your individual hard work and struggle. It obviously owes equally to the support of family and friends celebrating with you today, as well as faculty and staff in the programs of your university. But the value of these degrees owes also to the distinctive strengths and reputation of this university, a strength and reputation that I think is captured by the new tagline in our visual identity program, SFU, Thinking of the World. Thinking of the world refers first and most obviously at a university to the commitment to scholarship, to the embrace of scholarship in its universal dimensions, and to the welcoming of scholars and scholarship from around the world. This is a place where we gather together the thinking of the world and where great teachers and researchers contribute to the thinking of the world. And your faculties do much to enhance the reputation of this institution in this respect. Distinctively, this is a university which has prized not only excellence, but innovation and the development of new fields, as befits a new institution. The Faculty of Education and the Faculty of Applied Sciences, particularly the School of Communications, who we celebrate today, have pioneered in many respects and created the kind of ethos which defines much of the rest of the university in terms of the creation of interdisciplinary strengths that define new fields of endeavor. The School of Communications, for example, gathers together experts in wide-ranging fields, from wireless communication and new media to the sociology and psychology of communications, and to expertise in the public policy regulating communications. The Faculty of Education is likewise an interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary field, incorporating expertise in the philosophy of education, the psychology and sociology of education, educational leadership and organization, and the creation of new fields like that of imaginative education, of which we will speak more in a while. Each of you has encountered scholars of great repute, and I hope that experience, and as well your knowledge of the wider university, give you a great feeling of pride at the way in which this university contributes to the thinking of the world. The thinking of the world, though, refers more particularly to our concern with global and international issues. And again, your faculties and the university have made great strides in the time that you have been here in creating new partnerships with leading universities and educational institutions across the globe, creating new field schools at which our students experience international education as a reality by learning in places far afield. But international education, important though it is, does not complete the meaning of thinking of the world. And activity beyond our borders is not more important than our focus on our own immediate community. SFU's leadership in engagement in its immediate community is as much a source of strength as anything of which I have spoken. Our thinking of the world is certainly focused on the local community, and thinking globally and acting locally is a very good description of a principle that has informed much of our development. 21 years ago, that commitment was expressed in the creation of SFU's new campus in downtown Vancouver, a campus that has grown in your time at SFU with the opening last year of the magnificent new Siegel Graduate School of Business, and as we speak, the pouring of the foundations for the new School for Contemporary Arts at SFU as part of the massive redevelopment of the historic Woodward's department store site in the downtown East Side. And also at your time at SFU, you have witnessed another bold initiative similar to that in downtown Vancouver with the creation of SFU's new campus in Surrey, Both these developments typify SFU's thinking of the world. A concern not simply to advance our narrow institutional self-interest, but a commitment in partnership with governments, the private sector, and the local community to transform the social environment in which we live, especially in the redevelopment of the most needy and depressed areas of the community. So, ladies and gentlemen of the graduating class, I hope you continue to identify with SFU's commitment to thinking of the world. I hope you will always continue to think deeply about the society in which we live and the natural order upon which we depend, to think deeply about our place in a world of cultural pluralism and political conflict, and the need to build partnerships which create sustainable peace and development, and to think deeply about ways in which to engage in the local community where we can be most effective and where we are most accountable. On behalf of all of us at SFU, I applaud your achievements here. I wish you well as you go on to balance your private ambitions and careers with a continued commitment to thinking of the world. Our very best wishes for your future success and happiness. Congratulations to you all. Mr. Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to present this afternoon's Convocation speaker, Dr. Kieran Eagan. Dr. Egan is a professor of education at Simon Fraser University and a widely respected philosopher of education. He has been with the faculty since 1972, and he holds a Canada Research Chair, one of those distinguished appointments granted to eminent scholars with a truly international reputation for leadership in their field. His research is focused on providing a fundamental critique of our current practices of education and offering an alternative view or approach to imaginative education and the education of the imagination. This approach is attracting widespread attention around the world. Kieran Egan is a role model for great teaching and research, no matter what our particular interest in the university, and he is also a great citizen of the university community, generous in his commitment to the collegial governance and improvement of this university. It is a great pleasure now to call on Dr. Kieran Egan for his convocation address. Dr. Egan.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, distinguished guests, graduands, and ladies and gentlemen. First, congratulations to our graduands. All those lectures, papers, hours in the library and at the computer with textbooks and spark notes have all turned into this day and the degree you will be receiving, and you can certainly be proud of this achievement, marked by this ceremony. Now you have a moment for reflecting back with some satisfaction and also for looking forward, perhaps with more mixed emotions. As you have worked over the past 3 or 4 years in frenzy and in boredom, as you reflect on the awful moments and the wonderful achievements, and your delight in friends you have made here, many of whom will be your friends for the rest of your life, you have been developing some sense of who you are, and gradually, and sometimes suddenly, building an image of yourself and your likely future. Another similar period in academic careers comes to students who are doing doctoral programs, when they have finished their coursework and passed their comprehensive exams. Ahead lies only the thesis. Only the thesis. I sometimes suggest to my students at this point that they take a week and write an overview of the thesis they have been thinking about and planning, sketching in the resources they will need to gather, the knowledge they still will need to master, and most of them do this with some efficiency by this point in their training. Then I ask them to take another week and think of the most exciting idea that has crossed their intellectual path in their career so far, and then think of what would be the most fascinating and groundbreaking thesis topic they can imagine, something really revolutionary. I ask them to spend a week sketching how this radical and original idea could be made into a thesis, outlining what the chapters might involve, what resources they would need to write them, and how their thesis could change the educational world. I ask them to do this seriously and to consider that they might truly, after doing this exercise, break out onto this new and much more daring path than they had earlier imagined. A week in academia can be a long time. I'd like to suggest something similar to you today. I'd like to recommend that you put aside a day, the graduands, a whole day with nothing else impinging on it, to rethink the image you have formed of your likely future and think of what else you might possibly be able to do. Let me give you an example of a student whose graduation I attended a little while ago. He came from an academic family, poor guy, and his image of his future, fed by his family background, no doubt, was that he would go on and do a master's degree and then a PhD and then get an academic job in the area of his degrees. That was the safe road. Instead, he wrote letters, many letters, and emails, and phoned editors of travel guidebooks, offering himself as willing to work for the most basic salary, updating sections of their guides. Mostly he was told that they already had expert travel writers, but then he sent samples of his writing and phoned and emailed some more, and then he struck lucky. Someone who was scheduled to update a guide that included the Trans-Siberian Railway was sick. Their second stringer wasn't available, and so he got the job. He also got a hair-raiding ride across Moscow to catch the train, evenings in which Russian soldiers insist he join them in drinking vodka, getting more belligerent about some Canadian writer writing about their country as they got drunker, a 10-day hike in the Altai Mountains, chess games with an old guy in Novosibirsk who became a friend, and finally Beijing. He filed his updates on time, the times of buses in Vladivostok, the best places to stop for a day or two, what to avoid on the train itself, and what to pack for a short walk in the Altai Mountains. Then he got the assignment to do the Annapurna Trail in Nepal, where he rode elephants through a jungle. And then they assigned him to Western Turkey, where he flew in a balloon over Cappadocia. I heard only a few of his adventures. His other passion was theatre. After his travels, he wrote and emailed and phoned theatre companies offering to stuff envelopes, put up posters, take part in funding drives, do whatever grunt work they had for whatever they wanted to pay him as long as he could eat. After lots of no's, he finally got a yes. And after some time stuffing envelopes, putting up posters, he even got some walk-on parts. And then he got a couple of lines. And he was in paradise for a couple of years. So, what happened to my PhD students whom I asked to change the world rather than follow a routine path of research? And what happened to the student I've just described? Well, most of the students in the end did the first thesis topic they planned, not the world-transforming one. But in nearly all cases, the routine thesis was changed in some elements by the radically imaginative one that influenced them. And one or two did take on the greater challenge and produced a more original work than they had earlier imagined. And in his late 20s, the well-traveled student with theatrical experience is beginning a PhD and writing a play. I'm sure he will write a better thesis and become a better academic as a result of his experiences. Usually the theme of Convocation addresses is some version of time flies, seize the day, and this is no different. Take a day, imagine a different future, and perhaps for a while, as Philip Larkin suggests, swagger the nut-strewn roads. If not now, when? Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Egan. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the ceremony, the Alumni Association of Simon Fraser University presents to each graduate a Simon Fraser Alumni Association pin. Today, that pin will be presented by Ms. Tammy Wirrick, who graduated from SFU with a PDP certificate in 1980, a Bachelor of General Studies in 1989, and a Master's of Education in 1994. A former swimming athlete, today Ms. Wirrick is the Athletics and Healthy Schools Program Consultant for the Burnaby School District. I invite her to the podium to bring greetings to the graduates. Ms. Wirrick?
Welcome. On behalf of the Alumni Association, it is my privilege and pleasure to congratulate you all on your graduation. Today, as you begin your lives as members of the Alumni Association, you join over 95,000 SFU graduates worldwide. As you cross the stage, I will be presenting you with an alumni pin. I encourage you to wear it proudly as a symbol of your achievement and your alumni status. Wherever life takes you in the future, we hope that you keep the SFU spirit alive and well, and that you will stay connected to your alma mater and your fellow alumni.
Thank you, Ms. Wirrick. The members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor to be admitted en masse to their degrees. Will the graduands please rise? Mr. Chancellor, I present to you these students who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University, and I request that you confer upon each one the degree for which he or she is now recommended.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to your various and several degrees. Will the graduates please be seated?
Before the graduates are presented individually to the Chancellor, I am pleased to call upon Ms. Candice Bonfield, a member of the graduating class, to address Convocation. Ms. Bonfield?
Thank you, President Stevenson. Chancellor? Greetings, everyone. Welcome to our families, friends, faculty members, staff, and the graduating class of 2007. It's a big honor speaking for you today. We completed our degrees during a time where tuition rates have skyrocketed. Many of us have had part-time or full-time jobs. Many of us have sacrificed a lot. We've sacrificed time with our friends and our family, our health, and definitely our savings accounts. So many times, it also seems like we're losing our sanity while we're doing our degrees. So we've all felt the effects of being students. It hasn't been easy, but it's exactly this that makes our accomplishments so much more meaningful. And it's also why it's so important to recognize that we couldn't have done this without our support networks, without our friends and our family and our faculty mentors, and all those who have supported and encouraged us through all of these years, including each other, our classmates and peers, and finally, to those wonderful people who support the SFU bursary program. They make it possible for many of us to attend university in the first place. So on behalf of the graduating class, I would like to thank you all of you who have supported us through all of these years. We are truly indebted to you for your support. So graduating class, this is my take-home message for you. We've all come from different backgrounds and experiences and departments, but the one thing that we do share is this great university and the future that we're all going to be hurled into upon crossing this stage. This stage marks a new beginning for us all. It's a fresh start, and it's an opportunity to transfer what we have learned and endured to our roles as productive members of our society. And by productive, I'm not just talking about getting a job, because heaven knows we all need one of those now. But more important than job skills are the character, insight, and abilities that we have developed as a result of our experience in this rigorous academic environment. We have learned to think critically, to write persuasively, and to problem solve with creativity. We are lucky to be part of an intellectual community that wields great influence and power. We have to remember that not everyone gets the opportunity to have a university degree, and it's hard to remember that when we're immersed in it every day. Our education and our experiences privilege us with the opportunity to take action, to make a positive difference in the world. And a positive difference does need to be made. And we're graduating into a world of great uncertainty, with multiple threats to our future prosperity. We have climate change threatening to transform the world as we know it today. We have increasing violent conflict spreading all over the world, making us question our taken for granted safety, our lifestyles, and our beliefs. And then there's AIDS. AIDS is literally ravaging and consuming people all over the world in the most devastating way. And still, in 2007, there are billions of people dying of starvation in a world with an overabundance of food supplies. These are big problems, complex problems, and they're issues that are going to affect all of us in some way or another. They're going to change and transform our lives. And these big problems can be overwhelming. They can be downright depressing, and it can be easy to become apathetic. And we can take our unique advantage as educated members of our society, as intelligent and creative problem solvers, and see each of the problems of the world as an opportunity, as an exciting challenge. We have an amazing opportunity to make a lasting impact and leave a legacy that will literally transform the world that we know positively. And I can think of no better group than ours to do it. We're going to be the communicators and the educators of the future. We're going to be the broadcasters, the journalists, the marketers, and the teachers of tomorrow. And we have the tools of social change at our fingertips. We have access to the education system and the media, and therefore, the eyes and the ears of the people. Not everyone has a voice in this world, but we do. We all know the famous quote by Margaret Mead that said that a small group of thoughtful people could change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. But can you imagine what a big group could do? Can you imagine if all of us decided today to reduce our emissions to mitigate climate change? If we all took a stand today to reduce the amount of pollution going into the environment, to reduce the amount of cancer in children? And what if all of us decided to give back to our community tomorrow and donate to the bursary program? Start with one issue that inspires you. Be part of the solution of a growing movement. And I promise you that you will be pleasantly surprised at the happiness and the success that it will bring you. The future is full of potential, full of unwritten history, and we have nothing but time and opportunity ahead of us. We only get one lifetime on this earth. Use your time wisely. Make it count for something. So when you're crossing the stage today, it's a big moment. I want you to ask yourself, what would you like your legacy to be? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bonfield. Mr. Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, the members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor. And just a few requests before we get underway. First, would you refrain from applauding individual members of the graduating class until each group of degrees has been conferred? This does not forbid spontaneous outbursts of applause or enthusiasm. As a courtesy to others, please remain seated until the conclusion of the ceremony. And with the graduates, please return to your seats following receipt of your degrees. The degrees in the Faculty of Education and the Faculty of Applied Sciences will now be conferred. Mr. Chancellor, the Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. John Driver, will announce the names of the candidates for graduate degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Education. The candidates will be hooded by Dr. Paul Shaker, Dean of the Faculty of Education. The first candidate for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is the recipient of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal in Education. And I ask Dr. Sarah Hickenbottom to join me. Hi, Sarah. I'll take your call, and you come stand by me. Dr. Hickenbottom completed her BA in Psychology at SFU and her Master's and Doctorate in Educational Psychology, with her senior supervisor being Dr. Jeff Sugarman. Her work has been presented at international conferences and in academic journals and books. She was twice awarded the American Psychological Association's Best Student Paper Prize in her division, and her doctoral research has been supported by a number of scholarships. Dr. Hickenbottom has also taught in the Faculty of Education and has been active in the Education Graduate Student Society. Dr. Hickenbottom, it is an honor and a pleasure to present to you the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal in the Faculty of Education. Congratulations. Mr. Chancellor, I now continue with the presentation of the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Education. Dr. Linda Apps, Senior Supervisor, Dr. Carolyn Mamchur. Dr. Nancy Davidge Johnston. Senior Supervisor, Dr. Alan McKinnon. Dr. Marela Di Trupa, Senior Supervisor, Dr. Sharon Balin. Dr. Catherine McGregor, Senior Supervisor, Dr. Suzanne de Castel. Dr. Yoshifumi Sato, Senior Supervisor, Dr. Colleen Tui. Dr. Annika Van Enck, Senior Supervisor, Dr. Suzanne de Castel. Dr. Harry Yang, Senior Supervisor, Dr. Jack Martin. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Education in the Faculty of Education. Dr. Wendy Carr, Senior Supervisor, Dr. Deanne Dagenet. Dr. Robin Goetz, Senior Supervisor, Dr. Jeff Maddock Jones. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the candidate for the degree of Master of Arts in the Faculty of Applied Sciences. Glenda Shaw Garlick. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in the Faculty of Education. Michelle Beach. Anne Bonnycastle. Susan Carpenter. Carol Doyle Jones. Ada Glustein. Sarah Hebert. Amber Huguet. Christine Marie Krabachuk. Karen McCready. Robin Schell. Nicole Renee Therion. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the candidates for the degree of Master of Education in the Faculty of Education. Nikta Aga Aipur. Andrew Bellis. Heather Marnie Bogan. Avril Brookhausen. Elaine Brown. Lorinda Burgess. Stephen Burnett. Natalie Charlton. Jia Chen. Gavin Clark. Matthew Cook. Charlene Cote. Wen Kui. Carrie Lee Thomas Denton. Imelda Dimu. David Doyle. Leslie Drinups. Valerie Faher. Joan Dolores Fawcett. Paula Foran. Sally Hart. Jia Jin He. Kalina Ivy Shirley Hine. Gia Hogler. Shin Hong. Sean Hughes. Jeanette Carol Ingalls. Jennifer Ivey. Julia Jin. Ting Yu Jin. Heather Kelleher. Genevieve Kidd. Astrid Curvis. Kelly Ann Kuriak. Louise Lassert. Doreen Elizabeth Larish. Kevin Leach. Aojun Lee. Chantal Liao. Liu Li Meng. April Lowe. Palvinda Manhas. Joan McEwen. Angela Jean Danielle McKee. Lorraine Sylvia Minoski. Kevin Anthony Morrison. Rosalind Mustard. Anna Nachbar. Kevin Phillips. Alana Prakalova. Colleen Pudsey. Xiao Qian Ren. Nasreen Sabri. Reagan Saka. Jackie Shearer. Jacqueline Schultz. Nan Shi. Lisa Sinke. Anne Smith. Xun Chun Tang. Lee Taylor Gibbs. Teresa Temblett. Rosemary Thomas. Sean Thompson. Firuze Vaziri. Laurie Woods. Robert Wright. Minhua Zhang. Qing Shen. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting the candidate for the degree of Master of Science in the Faculty of Education. Jason Rickard.
Mr. Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Applied Sciences, Dr. Brian Lewis, will announce the names of the candidates for undergraduate degrees in his faculty.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the Faculty of Applied Sciences. Lina Agustina. Jason Oni. Alina Avutova. Matthew Aries. Lauren Baddock. Michael Bassani. Sarah Berchel. Alana Berg. Kelly Bergstrom. Vanessa Bernardino. Dana Bertoya. Michael Bertwistle. Jacqueline Blackwell. Candace Bonfield. Amanda Berkridge. Jeremy Bryant. Samuel Budi Raharjo. Jennifer Buenaventura. Darcy Cadman. Jane Chan. Jeffrey Chan. Joanne Chung Yan Chan. Philip Chan. Dennis Chang. Man Hin Chow. Caitlin Cheadle. Sarah Chi. Cheryl Chen. Yiding Chen. Clinton Cheng. Hamson Cheng. Kimberly Chuang. Priscilla Chuang. Annie Chiang. Connie Chiang. Elizabeth Chu. Vincent Chow. Marianne Chow. Trevor Christie. Henrietta Chu. Jillian Connolly. Audrey Cruz Chan. Heiko de Cosas. Courtney Drews. Marta Eckert. Celeste Elias. Melissa Fiorucci. Scott Fisher. Amanda Fu. Sophia Gori. Harjeet Gill. Alexandra Goldstein. Paul Graham. Denby Greenslade. Amrita Grewal. Yogita Grover. Dara Merrill Lynn Hamdila. Kendra Hart. Allison Hatton. Justine Herman. Lindsay Hindle. Edmund Ho. Gary Ho. Vivian Ho. Andrew Holtz. Sandy Hahn. Chung Ta Xie. Chung Xie Huang. Tony Huang. Marika Huzar. Ryan Ince. Damara Jacobs. Joshua Jasebi. Kelsey Johnson. Faiza Khan. Welcome. Cindy Kim. Michael Kleiss. Nadia Costa. For me? Yeah, it's for you. Jimmy Kung. Chi Yin Vivian Kwok. Yvonne Kwok. Jennifer Lau. Michelle Lau. Pui Xuan Li. Amanda Leneve. Emily Leong. Stephanie Leong. Heng Li. Jessica Lee. Debbie Lim. Naryan Lim. Julia Lin. Belinda Liu. Kathy Liu. Kai Yin Lo. Hui Man Lo. Daria Lishnikova. Jocelyn Ma. Yuan Ma. Suzanne McCarthy. Nadia Ma. Tiraj Matani. Gabrielle Makarovich. Maurice Manansala. Marie Matsusaka. Amy Matthews. Amanda McQuaig. Miki Minami. Gregory Marino Bellina. Christy Morgan. Nadia Nascimento. Chun Ting Eng. Quinn Nu In. Sarah Nixie. Stephanie Orr. Carlos Pan. Youngjun Park. Jennifer Perry. Mai Pham. Kate Phipps. Nancy Fung. Nicole Poole. Alexander Quezada. Natalie Rem. Rebecca Reed. Sharon Roberts. Brett Robinson. Judith Ross. David Sadler. Harkamal Sandhu. Aaron Sandulo. Kieran Saran. Jennifer Samila. Yi Jing Shrey. Yuki Shibui. Mandeep Sidhu. Dana Silk. Jenny Sukpham Wang. Julia Spitale. Sarah Stevenson. Carmen Stone. Christopher Salumka. Amanda Sung. Catherine Swaney. Sandy Shi. Emily Tai. Use your card or your name. Jaskaran Upal. Patsy Way. Billy Tam. You're welcome. Delia Tan. Charles Tang. Jie Tang. Aaron Taylor. Sarah Tom. Hendry Thongahan. Annika Tong. Brenda Truong. Wendy C. Laura Vanden Bogard. Salima Vastani. Lily Wang. Lu Yang Wang. C. Wang. Daniel Weber. Sandy Way. Emily Williamson. Julia Wilson. Heather Wong. Jocelyn Wong. Excuse me. Matthew Wong. Tiffany Wong. Richard Workman. Christina Wu. Alice Yang. Alicia Yuang. Cheryl Young. Joyce Yu. Sharon Yoshida. Veronica Yu. Patrick Zapp.
Mr. Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Paul Shaker, will announce the names for undergraduate degrees in his faculty.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Education in the Faculty of Education. The first candidate is the recipient of the Dean's Convocation Medal for Undergraduate Studies in the Faculty of Education. I ask Melanie Roth to come forward. Melanie Roth is not only an exceptional scholar and educator, she is a person who is remarkable for her compassion and her caring approach to life. Her dedication to improving the lives of children and families is clear to all those who know her. As part of an education course requirement, Melanie tutored a young boy who struggled with reading in school. What is remarkable about Melanie is that she took the time to foster connections with the child's family that were meaningful, long-lasting, and resulted in a positive change for the child. In short, Melanie exemplifies the qualities of a model educator and compassionate citizen. We could ask for no more. Ms. Roth, in recognition of your outstanding academic achievements, it is an honor to present to you the Dean's Convocation Medal for Undergraduate Studies in the Faculty of Education. Congratulations, Daniel. Keep up the good work. Mr. Chancellor, I now have the honor of presenting the remaining candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Education in the Faculty of Education. Jeanne Annabelle. Christine Blakeway. Aaron Borsoff. Erica Brugge. Christiane Budd. Sandy Castellan. Eric Share. Sarah Engel. Shannon Gurney. Kimberly Go. Marita Havisto. Jody Ruth Hammer. Tammy Harmachuk. Nicole Ho. Jacqueline Eilis. Raylene Michelle James. Tracy Cusick. Marie Diane Carolyn Lefebvre. Christopher Lister, Gordana Markovic, Scott McCrae, Elizabeth Jean Woodworth Morton, Verly Muriel Ned, Yi Xiong Pang, Sarah Parkin, Ronnie Parmar, Jennifer Poole, Bronwyn Reese Thomas, Tessa Reese, Wendy Marie Ritchie, Krista Roberts, Andrea Rudolph, Sonia Sangara, Melissa Savino, Suzanne Scobie, Jennifer Sellers, Jennifer Slack, Jordan Smith, Beth Sullivan, Kuljit Sunar, Crystal Thomas, Sabrina Tonigs, Susan Tremels, Amanda Von Dam, Ian Ward, Jennifer Winning, Judy Woodworth, Jennifer Yee,
Will the graduating class please rise? I congratulate each of you on the completion of your degrees, and I ask your friends and family to join me in congratulating the graduating class of 2007. Thank you, and now I invite you, the members of the graduating class, to reciprocate by thanking your friends and family, faculty and staff, all who have helped you achieve this goal. Thank you. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, this completes the formal awarding of degrees. Some candidates recommended by the Senate for degrees today are unable to be present, and their names therefore have not been read out. I now admit them to the appropriate degrees as shown on the program. I have several thank yous to express. First of all of you for coming on such a beautiful Convocation Day. To the many volunteer staff, faculty members, coordinated by Student Services and the Ceremonies and Events Offices, who have worked together to run a very smooth Convocation Day. And to the members of our four-time world champion Simon Fraser University Pipe Band Organization for their special contribution to Convocation. They will perform after the ceremony in Freedom Square, which is the plaza located directly behind this platform. This brings a close to the formal part of this afternoon's Convocation, and you are hereby all invited to attend a reception to be held in the James Douglas Room behind the platform to your right following the ceremony. Please rise and remain standing until the platform party has recessed.